Hello, and welcome to my final portfolio reflection screencast. My name is Madison Ambrose. I'm 18 years old and I am a freshman at Appalachian State University. Why I chose my topic. As a person of color, talking about and informing others about injustice and inequality is easy. However, just because I'm a person of color doesn't mean I know everything about injustice and inequality. So I was curious about what aspects of life does white supremacy affect and what does that mean for members of the Black community. Throughout this collection, I will be discussing the implications of white supremacy's effect on U.S. society and the Black communities of America. My portfolio setup. I put my website in chronological order to show the process that I went through and how the process helped me develop my topic and writing. Now to start with my annotated bibliography. At the time, my topic was white supremacy's effect on the Black communities of America. So I tried to focus on finding sources that would aid in my efforts to explain why white supremacy is the way it is and how white supremacy affects the U.S. now. When it came to the MLA portion of the annotated bibliography, I had no issues because I already have a lot of experience with MLA. In high school, I was in a global studies program that required a lot of informational writing. However, looking back at my bibliography, I wish I had had a better grasp on my sources. I feel having had a better grasp on my sources would have made the annotation portion a much easier process. I also feel I should have tried to find more sources about the modern implications of white supremacy because it would have saved me a lot of time. Now to start with my synthesis. To be blunt, my first attempt at the synthesis portion of my portfolio was a complete mess. I misunderstood the directions for the final product, and my topics for the synthesis matrix were very bad. However, during my grade conference, Professor Ruggiero explained what I needed to do and helped guide me in the right direction. When I went to redo this assignment, I had to start with the synthesis matrix. I completely scrapped the previous attempt and started over. The first thing I noticed in working on my synthesis matrix was that I didn't have a good grasp on my sources. Hence why I wish I had taken the time to familiarize myself before. How I combated this issue was by going over the themes and working one-on-one with each of my sources. This helped me create an effective synthesis matrix. Then I took that information I had gathered and wrote down how they connected so that I could effectively write them into paragraphs. When it came to writing the draft, I just used the matrix and the list I had compiled to organize my paragraphs into well thought out pieces of writing. My biggest takeaway from the synthesis process is how easy the synthesis matrix made doing everything. Now to start off with my synthesis web text. For my web text, I took my themes from my synthesis matrix and then took the information I'd compiled and listed it off. I also chose photos that I felt matched each theme, and I made sure that they were black and white so that the color scheme would stay the same. As you can see, I really used the color red because it is eye-catching, and I feel this is a topic that deserves a lot of attention. Now for my academic argument. I didn't have all that much issue with the academic argument. However, with my topic having shifted, it made finding more sources a burden. At this time, I had changed my topic to what impact does systemic white supremacy have on healthcare for the Black communities of America? Professor Ruggiero and I discussed how narrowing my topic would be beneficial for my writing process. I also found that using the information I collected for my synthesis was beneficial for my argumentative writing process. I started my paper with an introduction about misconceptions that perpetuate white supremacy. I felt it was important to start with this because one, it is something very important to address, and two, because starting with this would make it easier to reference and connect to as the paper progresses. Then I explain what is white supremacy. I did this because it's important to inform your audience about important concepts they might not be familiar with. After that, I explained misconceptions, education, the school to prison pipeline, and maternal death rate. I ended my paper with possible solution. I asked the question, who is responsible for solving this societal issue? I began with the counterclaim that solving white supremacy is up to one group of people. Then I gave my argument about how it is up to the U.S. as a country to come together collectively. What I took from the argumentative writing process is that it is important to show the other argument and use it to help explain why your argument is better. In reflection, this semester helped me to gain more confidence as a writer and understand some of the expectations of college writing. Thank you for an amazing semester.